Okay, class. So if I were to recall some of the previous things from the previous class, so we have said that the plants they have got some extra organelles in them, and among them we have the cell wall, we had the chloroplast, then there was a middle lamellae, then there was a plasmodesmata coming, and now we have got this large vacuole to be discussing. The situation here is that the plant cells they don't have many temporarily existing vacuoles, but rather than they have got this large vacuole here. And this large vacuole has its own membrane. And this membrane of the large vacuole has got a name, and this would be referred to as a tonoplast. And within the large vacuole, we would have the solution of some component. There could be water, there could be the sugar and the salt and ions and the stuff like that. So collectively, the solution that we have within the large vacuoles, it would be referred to as a cell sap. If I were to show you the photomicrograph of this large vacuole, so here you'll see that here we have got this large vacuole coming in the photomicrograph, and the one that is indicated by the red marking, so this is its membrane, and that would be the tonoplast. And here we would have the cell sap with us. And these organelles that you see at the moment, these are the chloroplasts. Now we will see that these large vacuole that we have in the plant cells, so they have got a lot of functions to be performing. The first scenario is that these large vacuole they would have some lysosomal activity. For the animal cells, we had specialized lysosomes, and those lysosomes had the enzymes which were referred to as a hydrolases, inclusive of nucleases, proteases, and carbohydrases. But for the plant cell, that role would be rendered by the large vacuole. It will have the same enzymes in it, the same type of enzymes in it, and that would be breaking down the complex thing into the small thing. So the lysosomal activity is performed by the large vacuole, and these plant cells do not have the individual lysosomes in them. Now the other thing is that as we have seen in the chloroplast, that the plants they have the photosynthetic pigments in them, but there are some other pigments we will see in terms of the secondary metabolites that have got no role in the photosynthesis, but they have got some other roles. In the secondary metabolites, we have anthocyanins, then we have these alkaloids and the tannins, and then we have got this latex coming. You may have gone to the market at some point where you would have purchased some fruits and the vegetables, and those fruits and vegetables would have a distinct color. Like the apple, they appear red. I guess some of the vegetables they appear purple. The flowers they appear pink. Okay, so these color that are imparted to the flower, to the vegetable, to the fruit, so they are imparted by the anthocyanin. So these are some other pigments, and they don't have any important role in the photosynthesis, but they are the part of the secondary metabolites that have to be imparting the color to the flowers and the fruits that we have in the plants. And when the flowers they would be colored, so for sure they would attract the pollinators for the pollination. Now we know that plants they are always under the attack of the herbivores, animals that intend to eat them up, so they have to keep them away. And in the large vacuole, so the plants they have got the alkaloids and the tannins, and they are a little bit, you could say, bad in taste, and it would not allow or this would repel the herbivores away from them. So there is a less likely chance of plant getting eaten up. And then for some plants that we refer to them as a rubber plants. So in the rubber plants, there is formation of this latex, and this is a milky fluid kind of a thing, and that again is stored within the large vacuole of these plant cells. Other than that, this large vacuole that we have in the plant cell, so this would be acting as a food reserve. And by the food reserve, what we mean is that if the plant they have to store the sucrose and the minerals or the salt, so they would be stored within this large vacuole. And unlike us, they don't have the kidneys in them, and there is a scenario or a situation where they have to be storing the waste materials or depositing their waste materials. So again, this large vacuole would be contributing a role in it. And for the plants, the calcium oxalate is one of their waste material that again is deposited here in the large vacuole. Now another situation is that these cell wall they have got something to do with the growth of the plant cells. Now the situation is that the animal cells they only have the cell membrane. So when the organelles they intend to increase from the inside, so the plant cell, the animal cell overall would increase in volume. But for the plant cell, the slight issue is that the cell wall is hard, inelastic, and rigid. So if I have to increase the size of the plant cell, so prior to that there is a necessity that this cellular cell wall must loosen up. So when the cell wall, which is made up of the cellulose, would loosen up, now the water would enter into the large vacuole. That large vacuole would now exert the pressure on the cell wall, and as a result of that, the cell wall would now allow the plant cell to be increasing in size. Now, moving onward, we have got an aspect of the support for the human body. The support is provided by the muscles and the bones. But in case of the plant cells, like we have got a lot of the plant cells aligned side by side. So you just feel like we have got multiple of balloons that are not inflated with the air, so they would not be upright. But if we try to fill the air in the balloon, so when all of the balloons they would inflate up, so we would have some kind of a compact shape. So for the plants, what we see is that in the large vacuole, when the water would be accumulated, so these large vacuole they would exert the pressure on cell wall. The cell wall would exert an opposing pressure, and as a result of that, the plant cell would become a little swollen, and we say that this has become turgid now. Now think of the way where multiple plant cells they are getting turgid or they are getting swollen up. So overall, they would provide the support to the plant. So this is how the large vacuole is contributing an important role in context of the plant cells. And I have tried to cover each and every aspect that you people need to remember in context of this large vacuole that we have for these plant cells.